Hello and welcome to Data Planet, the show where we talk with industry leaders about the triumphs and challenges of growing a business and the role data plays along the way. I'm Emma Davis, and today's guest is John Sun, Head of Marketing for DeepBrain AI. Welcome, John.
Hello, nice to meet you. Thank you for
Yeah,
having me today.
yeah, great to have you. So to start, can you talk a little bit about DeepBrain and what problem you help companies solve?
DeepBrain AI is a global AI company focused on AI powered video generation and digital human technology. And I currently lead the marketing for our flagship product, AI Studios. And our AI Studios is an all in one AI video generation platform designed to dramatically reduce the time and effort required to create professional video content. And yes, that's what we do.
Okay, awesome. And so producing video content, does that involve entirely generative AI, or can people upload, here's video of me doing this, please take that and make these adjustments to it? What kind of video?
So our core technology is called AI Avatar,
Okay.
and the avatars are photorealistic avatars that talks and moves like humans. And if we feed the text to the avatars, it's avatars basically speaking out the text that was fed.
Okay.
So with that technology, we have over 2,000 avatars that users can create within the library. And when users upload their own clips, we can create um, the avatars, custom avatars, using the clips they uploaded as well. So it's
Wow.
very efficient for people who want to create videos easily.
Okay, awesome. And so it speeds up that process, also allows them to produce video content of higher quality than maybe they could do on their own with just normal video capability or limited resources for video production.
Yes, I can say that. And I would say the strength of the product is two things. One is that the fact that we mentioned dramatically increasing the video generation speed with avatars, with the video editing tools. We also have embedded Sora Veo like video generators for people to upload and create new contents. But one more thing I do want to point out is the ability for us to dub the videos in different languages that people want as well. So you create a video in English, but you have different use cases in different places in the world. We can always translate into over 100 plus languages, and it's all done in a click. So
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. And so who are some of the customers who get the most value from Deep Brain? Who are you interested in attracting as customers?
we do have vast range of customers, to be honest, but there are a few sectors that we do focus in, and one is definitely corporate learning
Mm,
and global companies. They need to create vast amount of videos using their existing content, and it's not only one language they speak around the world. So having to create videos with mass content and having them translated into different languages benefits corporations a lot for their corporate training sessions. Creators obviously are one of our core target audience because they also create wonderful videos, but translation also just makes them reach out more to the audience in the world. So yeah, we do have lots of financial customers with product description manuals. It's loads of words, and we feed them into large language models. We summarize it and create a video using the avatar. It's basically more interactive, more easy to understand, informative. So that's another way. So many use cases, but we're trying to develop more.
yeah, yeah, fantastic. And so when you talk about creators, is that more so creators on the business side, like marketers and influencers, and less like hobbyist creators?
Yes, it's a paid service, so
Mm,
it is targeted more to the marketers who needs to create videos, influencers who actually earn money, but we
mhm.
also want to act as an enabler for newbie creators, influencers, because it reduces the wall of creating videos. Um, we do want to help them create creative videos using our tool.
Nice. Okay. And do you see an upward limit on the capabilities or the fit of deep brain AI for organizations that are much larger? So if it's a large enough organization that they have their own video production team or anything, like is there a certain point at which an organization might outgrow deep brain, or is it like this is a cheaper, faster, more effective way to do this, especially if you have, translation needs um, you want to be able to customize beyond just what you were able to record in that moment. Like, what's sort of the upper limit of Deep
Or
Brain?
cheaper, faster, efficient is definitely what we want to provide to our users.
Uh huh.
And we're talking about AI. And
Mm-hmm.
as we love AI, it is not as precise as it would be created with a team of 10 trying to give this effect and that effect to
Mm-hmm.
video. So time and effort and money invested into a video would have greater quality. I can't deny that.
Hmm.
But for corporations who want to efficiently create videos with mass information that they already have, it would be a very beneficial way of creating videos.
Awesome. Okay, that's very helpful distinction. And how are you finding your customers? So, what are some of your primary sources of new customers?
So our sources come from a variety of activities we do, but one of the biggest activities that we try to focus on is implementing informative sources on our homepage, creating blogs.
Hmm.
Um, Basically, it can be seen as an SEO work, very traditional way, but
Hmm.
because our industry is very new, people are still looking for information that they want to learn. And while doing that, we give the adequate and credible information to the users. The credibility of our product does increase as well. And
Hmm.
that's a good cycle for us to advertise ourselves with the technology, which
Mm.
also sort of makes this whole cycle more efficient because when they have a question for a product, they want to talk with our sales representatives or customer support center. Um, Digging into our website gives them a more general idea of what we can do and what we do, and
Hmm.
it makes the conversation with our actual agents and representatives much easier.
And do you have a sense if people arrive looking for an AI specific solution, or if they have, I'm trying to do X on this limited budget. What can I do to create that content or address that video or translate my videos?
So we were one of the well, we are one of the oldest player in the market,
Hmm.
and the customer intent changed over time.
Okay.
So before this technology was popular, people wanted to know what AI avatars were, what AI video generators were, what's the capability, what's the benefit I get.
Hmm.
Now it's more to I know the product, I know the technology. What can I get out of it? What
Hmm.
is the easier way? What's the better way for me to increase my productivity? Is basically it's been shifted to what is it to how do I use it better? So
Interesting. Okay, and that's
yes,
where a lot of your content you were talking about that has shifted as well away from did you know this was a thing to like
mhm,
here's how you can really make this work for you.
that is right.
Yeah, cool. Very cool. Another thing that I've noticed about Deep Brain is you're in, as a company, fairly constant product innovation mode. So, a decent volume of, hey, here's this new update or a new feature or a new tool. Can you talk a little bit about the relationship between the product innovation and the marketing side? How does that help you retain your existing customers and potentially tap into entirely new markets?
So a few years back, we were the innovators. We had the new technology that people wanted to learn about.
Hmm.
But as market grew and big players such as Gemini and OpenAI come in, Google and OpenAI come in, the use case, basically the keyword AI video generator was a term that we used in our industry with avatars.
Hmm.
Now the keyword itself shifted to the generative content that Gemini and ChatGPT are creating.
Okay.
So for us to keep up with the intended keywords and people's expectation, we had to continuously develop, improve, and embed third party tools as well for us to
Hmm.
provide a user experience that fulfills their expectation.
Hmm.
And that's inevitable in the AI industry, I think, at the moment. And that's why we have our eyes wide open, ears wide open, try to observe as much as possible, try to play by the rule book
Hmm.
and adjust. And because of that, yes, we've been launching lots of features. Um, Sometimes it's not even scheduled, or we try to catch up ASAP. And
Hmm.
as a marketer, that is a hard point. And having to plan ahead is very important. Having a calendar that I can control
Hmm.
is the better environment. But unfortunately, in this environment, it's not easy. That's why we try to constantly keep in contact with influencers, blog writers, um, so that whenever a new feature is up, we are able to talk with them about it.
Hmm.
Uh, I've learned that Product Hunt is also a nice way to promote new features as well because um, there are many tech enthusiasts wanting new features,
Hmm.
seeking for new products daily basis. So it's another fun. As a person who has a background with hardware, it's a very fast paced environment that I need
Hmm.
to adjust day to day.
Interesting. Yeah, because I think most SaaS companies or any companies I've talked with to this point, their product innovations are about trying to be, well, we want to be another step ahead of our competitors or, but it sounds like what you're talking about is, we had this tool and then these other people sort of tangentially related appeared in the space and many more people got to know those tools because they had less niche needs that those tools could meet, but it also changed people's expectations around, well, what should I get from an AI tool? What should I be able to do with Gen AI? And so some of what you're doing on the product innovation front is just trying to like, all right, let's make sure no one's disappointed when they get here because, even though we didn't make this tool for that purpose, now it's just kind of expected.
We can say that, but if I were to rephrase it a little bit, we have our core technology
Hmm.
with the avatars. Now we're trying to learn ways to associate our avatars with different technologies. So avatars has been always there. It's been the presenters for the videos. We are giving additional sources for our users to create videos more efficiently. So in a
Hmm.
way, yes, how you worded might be right,
Hmm.
but we also try to focus on giving more use cases workflow. So there's lots of tools out there, and the AI studios basically we want to act like as an all-in-one AI tool provider, um,
Hmm.
providing the adequate tools that users need and making a workplace, a workflow for the users to create video in general. So, long story short, adjusting, catching up can be a way of surviving in the market, but
Mm,
also facilitating it to
mhm,
the needs for our users is
mhm.
also a way that we try to delve this market.
Nice, interesting. And do you have a sense, this may not be directly tied to your role, but with those product updates, is a lot of that based on user feedback and it's sort of responsive to that versus we're prospecting, we want to go after that market and so we're developing a product to meet that need.
I think it's both ways.
Yeah.
So first, our AI avatars were text to video technology. So
Mhm.
input text, avatars exported with MP4 video file type
Mhm.
is the product. But we also did internal research and developed a product called AI Human, which is conversational.
Oh, okay.
So with chatbot background, DeepBrain AI has a chatbot background.
Mhm.
We added avatar plus chatbot, which made it conversational. And then the large language models came in. Avatar plus large language model. It's basically conversational. You can talk about anything you want that the language model support. But that was not required before.
Mm.
That's a part where, and it's still up to today, we still try to innovate as much as possible. But to answer your questions, yes, avatars, despite its photorealistic, despite it has very natural movements, I see perfect lip sync, the how people observe is a little different, and we always get new feedbacks.
Mm.
So that we try to observe as much as possible, share it to our development team, and plan it out so that AI and human, it can be distanced by of how each individual observe the avatars. But what we try to do is we try to shorten the gap between technology and the real human.
Mm. Interesting. Yeah. Do you feel like if people didn't know it was AI, do you think there are people who would be convinced or, that is that sort of what you're
There's
approaching is we
there's
don't even.
lots of internal testing methods that we intake to prove that our avatars are very real looking.
Uh-huh. Cool.
There's like tests asking, is A an avatar or B an avatar, or vice versa, what's a human? So we do one on one. And since we based our models upon real human to test these,
Mhm.
there's a real human. For instance, there's a real human version of myself and an avatar version of myself. And we test it with same lines to um, groups, testing groups. And interestingly, people pick 50-50, meaning sometimes some people realize it, some people don't.
Hmm.
That range is pretty close. So that's one of the ways that we also always try to emphasize the realistic aspects of our avatars. But
Sure.
again, it's if you're knowing that it's an avatar, people will open their eyes to try and be picky about it. But if you don't know about it at all, which we don't tend to hide it, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
if they don't have intention, yeah, it's very hard to spot.
Yeah. Interesting. Very, very cool. All right. I have one more question for you, John, which is when you have new feature releases, new product updates, or you're trying to tap into new markets, what is your go to? What channels do you go to first? And how do you know that they're working? So I guess it's two questions, but what's your go to game plan and how did you arrive at that? What makes you confident that's the right choice?
So for recent cases, we try to, as I mentioned earlier, we try to create contents that's actually helpful for
Hmm.
users,
Hmm.
creating use cases. despite we don't have a client for that specific one, we try to make up a workflow for the users to understand how this works.
Mm,
So nowadays, people understand there's this technology. They just don't know how to use it, or they don't know if it's efficient or improves their working day to day life.
mhm,
Mm, Drawing up something specific and letting them understand definitely helps.
mhm.
So that's a sort of method we tried. And just to showcase a go to market sort of strategy that we had earlier as a South Korea based company, because it's avatars and it just looks like news reporters. Our go to market for each country was broadcasting companies. And
Oh,
we had strong cases in Korea with three broadcasting companies creating their franchise anchors into AI avatars.
okay.
And obviously, the franchise anchor does the prime news and everything, but previews, short YouTube forms was created with the avatars.
Wow.
And that basically showcased how real the avatars are, having the corporations use the avatars to deliver their message was a good method. So this brings me to say that finding a niche but very thorough use case market
Mm,
and building up a case from that definitely helps out build stories and enthusiasm to future users of your product.
very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you so much, John. Let's call that the final data point for this episode. If people want to learn more about John and Deep Brain, information will be in the show notes. Otherwise, take what helps, test boldly, and keep going. We'll see you next time on Data Planet.